There is a certain kind of frustration when no matter how hard you try, someone is always ahead of you. You're passionate, you're working, you're pushing yourself to become the best version of who you can be. And at some point, you start believing that you're already there, that nobody can reach your level. And then, someone does. Someone comes in and takes everything you thought you had and surpasses you like it was nothing. And in that moment, something in you breaks. You start questioning everything. Was I ever even good enough? Was this ever really for me? Your mind spirals, and your pride shatters. That's the kind of moment Vegeta faces for the first time. A Saiyan prince, an elite warrior, someone who believed he was born above everyone else, comes to Earth and gets humiliated. Not just by Goku, but by people he saw as beneath him. And instead of being killed, he's shown mercy. And somehow, that hurts even more. Because it's just not losing. It's realizing you were never who you thought you were. And then that's when something even more dangerous starts to happen. You begin to compare your effort, your time, everything you put into becoming better to someone else's results. And sometimes it doesn't make sense. You put in all this work, all these hours, all the effort, and yet someone else does less and still gets more? And that's the part that really messes with you. Because now, it's not just about losing. It makes you question if everything you've been doing was ever enough. You start to feel invisible, like all the effort that you've been putting in just doesn't even matter. Like no matter what you do, you're always going to be second. And this is the part that nobody really likes to talk about, because we don't want to admit it. We don't want to be that person. The one who feels bitter, the one who feels angry, the one who starts questioning why someone else succeeded instead of being happy for them. But sometimes those thoughts creep in anyway. And that's what makes it even worse. Because now, you're not just struggling with failure. You're struggling with yourself. That internal conflict is something Vegeta carries with him constantly. That pressure of always being behind slowly turns into something darker. And eventually, you reach a point where you just stop. You start asking yourself, is this even worth it? Why am I even trying? Because when you keep pushing and nothing changes, it just feels easier to just walk away. Vegeta reaches that same breaking point where everything he believed in, everything he worked for, just didn't feel like enough anymore. And sometimes, when you feel like that, you look for a shortcut. Something that can get you there faster. Something that can finally prove that you're enough. But the problem is, those shortcuts always come at a cost. Because when you skip that process, you start losing parts of yourself along the way. And this is where Vegeta makes one of his biggest mistakes. He allows himself to be consumed just to gain the power he thought he needed. And for a moment, it works. But in the end, it cost him everything. And that's when realization starts to happen. Maybe the way you've been doing things was never the right way. Maybe your path was never supposed to look like someone else's. And that's when things begin to change. Instead of chasing someone else's success, you start building your own. Over time, Vegeta begins to understand something. That he doesn't need to be like Goku. He just needs to be himself. And I think that's why so many people relate to Vegeta. Because his struggles isn't just about fighting. It's about feeling like you're not enough. Feeling like no matter what you do, you're always second. And that doesn't make you a bad person. It just means you're going through something. Because the truth is, sometimes we are Vegeta. We just don't like to admit it. But maybe that's not something to be ashamed of. Maybe it's something to grow from.